Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. We are on day 13 of the Financial Strategy Bootcamp here at Galatians Bookkeeping. If you don't know who I am, my name is Angelise Prince. I'm a child of God, a serial entrepreneur, and the founder and finance manager at Galatians Bookkeeping. We help entrepreneurs get back to the work that they love through faithful stewardship and by organizing their finances. Okay. A little history about us. We started over 3 years ago by God's grace, and through His grace alone, He's allowed us to be able to manage over $10 million in gross revenue. And so now we're able to take all of the components that we've learned and gleaned over the years and being able to share that information with you throughout this boot camp. If you have been following along with us throughout all of the days, you would know that tomorrow we are having our first financial strategy session, which through the cohort. The cohort is our community of entrepreneurs. Where we come together and we talk about all things financial strategy. We have accountability. We have community with other entrepreneurs that are in the same space as you, trying to take their finances seriously. And you have live coaching as well. Money comes in through a myriad of ways, but what we say here at Galatians Bookkeeping is that money comes in your business through submission, strategy, and processes. So submission to God, strategy that is biblically based, and processes. And that is what we believe ensures, or not ensures, but helps and supports you as you are on your financial journey towards building wealth and growing your company, and always, looking to honor God as well in your business. Okay. And so the cohort is now open. You can head over to galatiansbookkeeping.com/cohort to get access to our bi-weekly financial strategy sessions. We meet every single Thursday, we meet every other Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you do not get access, or if you're not able to meet us live at 1 p.m., you can get access to the replays. Okay. And so galatiansbookkeeping.com/cohort is the place to go. If you go ahead and get access before October 25th, you will be able to get access at the introduction rate or at the reduced rate forever. However, after October 25th, the price of the cohort will go up. And so you definitely want to make sure that you head over to galatiansbookkeeping.com/cohort to get access to the financial strategy that you may have been looking for all along. Okay. So one thing that we have really been talking about throughout this entire financial strategy bootcamp is, as a Christ-based financial management firm, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that we need to be including God in our finances. We need to be coming before Him and praying and asking Him for guidance and wisdom on how to manage our finances, because He has the wisdom, He has the knowledge, He has the understanding. And a lot of times without Him, we cannot do the things that He's called us to do. We can't be as efficient as we even desire to be, because He has all wisdom, all knowledge, and all understanding. And so again, as I mentioned earlier, that submission piece, submitting our finances back to God and saying, God, actually, you can make better decisions than I can. And so I want to give you right, reign, rule, and dominion over my finances. Please guide me and lead me and help me to navigate the steps on how to manage this thing called business and life, right? And so you can be including Him in the conversations when you're sitting down looking at your budget, when you're managing your teams, when you're operating in your business, when you're navigating your sales processes and your marketing and your accounting and your operations. Really be thinking about, how can I include God in this? How can I ask Him for wisdom so that I can be setting myself up for success? Maybe you won't get $1 million in 1 second, but maybe you're building long-term generational wealth that will be able to get passed on to your kids and your children's children and your children's children's children, and being able to make an impact for generations to come. And so you want to make sure that you're coming before God in prayer and making sure that that you are in right standing with Him. One of the scriptures that I read today that was so beautiful, and it was one of God's promises to us, is through Isaiah 60 verse. Let me find it. His word says in Isaiah 60 verse 15, I will make you an eternal excellence, a joy of many generations. And so there is that promise that He can do that for you, but it does require for us to submit to Him. It does require for us to come to Him in the first place, right? And so you want to make sure that you're doing that. Today, we're talking about how to set up your business bank, and we're not going to be on here for very long, but I do want you to have this information to take away back to your team, back to your accounting team. If you have one, if you don't have one, we would love to help you. You can reach out to us by going to galatiansbookkeeping.com and going through all of the steps to onboard with us. But what I want you to understand from a business standpoint, or you can join the cohort by going to galatiansbookkeeping.com/cohort. But anyway, what I want you to understand is that you can, when it comes to your business bank, again, be praying, God, how should I do this? How should I manage this? Right. And so I want to also give you some practical tips that I've gotten from the Holy Spirit as it relates to this topic. And so when it comes to banking, you want to start with the basics. Okay. If you are in a place where you're just starting your business and you haven't really gained, consistent revenue just yet, what I would recommend is that you get a normal and personal savings account for business funds. Okay. So the reason why you want to get a savings account versus a checking account is because you want to be able to at least gain a little bit of interest on that money that might just be sitting there, in the first place. In addition, you kind of want to create a barrier that doesn't allow you to just spend the money that just got into your bank account. Again, especially if you're just starting, you really want to make sure that you are using your dollars wisely and not just spending anything that comes in. Okay. So you might as well get that benefit by having a savings account that is just, specifically allocated for your business funds. Okay. And so this can be with a regular bank. You can open up a savings account. You can do some research and see which savings accounts that are out there have the highest yield, that will give you the highest interest on the money that you're putting in there. And I would start there as a first step. Okay. Now, if you are already in your business and you've kind of already been a little bit more established, you have some, some clients or some revenue coming in consistently, I would, look to get a business bank account when you have about $1,000 per month coming in consistently. I wouldn't do it beforehand because in some cases you could run into, depending on what bank you choose, you could run into fees and things like that. And I don't want you to be paying out of pocket or reducing your gross revenue or reducing your profit really by spending dollars on, something like a bank account. So, only after, my rule of thumb is only after you're making $1,000 consistently in your business should you be getting a bank account. That's my recommendation. And there are, I want to mention, there are free banks out there. There are free accounts, free checking accounts out there where you can, where you don't have to pay any money. I'm not going to get into bank accounts today and which bank is best and all the things. If you want access to which bank that I bank with or what banks are really great for businesses and very, supportive for entrepreneurs, join the cohort, or you can become one of our clients and we can navigate some of those processes with you. Okay. Okay, let's say that you're more established than making $1,000 per month and you're like, okay, I need something a little bit more robust. I need to really understand how to organize my finances from a banking standpoint and how to really get things in order. I love that. And that's completely fine. What I would recommend if you, again, are someone who maybe you are well past making $1,000 per month and you want to understand how to organize the surplus that you have, what I would do is I would open up 4 different bank accounts at the same bank. Again, there is a really great bank and a really solid bank that I recommend my clients to. If you want to get access to that, or if you want to learn more, you can join the cohort or, become one of our clients. But from a very general standpoint and from a framework standpoint, you want to open up 4 different bank accounts at the same bank, and you want to title them operations, payroll, reserves, and taxes. Okay. Operations, payroll, reserves, and taxes. And so in the operations account, some of the expenses that might come out are going to be your Google subscription or your email subscription, your calendar subscription, your lunch. If you take the team out to lunch, those funds are going to come out of your operations account. Okay. The next one is your payroll account. So when you have payroll, when you run payroll, whether it is for contractors or employees or yourself as the entrepreneur or as the CEO, you want to make sure that all of the funds that are relating to payroll go into the payroll account and that they also come out of the payroll account. Okay. There is a way that you can ensure that you are setting up your accounting software to only have funds come out of that payroll account when you're running payroll. Okay. And there are some specifications that you need to keep in mind when it comes to that payroll account, because you always want to make sure that that payroll account is fully funded and that you're not running payroll without having the exact amount of funds in there. And so we can talk about a little bit more of that in the financial strategy community, which is the cohort. Okay. And then the reserves account, this is an account where you simply have reserves. You have kind of like your backup or your emergency funds, just in case anything goes awry or you need some additional funds on short notice. And so what I like to think about is if you know that it costs $1,000 to run your business every single month, perhaps consider putting at least 3 months of savings in that reserves account. Again, just so you have some quick access to cash if you need it for your business and if it's truly an emergency. Now, from an operational standpoint, this is where you will have to have the diligence and the discipline to understand, okay, well, what is considered an emergency? I don't want to, an emergency is not, you get invited to a conference last minute and you just want to go just for the sake of going. That's not an emergency. An emergency is, so and so, maybe their payroll didn't go through or something happened with payroll and one of your team members needs to get paid immediately. That's an emergency. Or, something happens where your office floods and you need, some type of, equipment to work on to get something done for a particular client that's up against a very high urgency deadline. Something like that is an emergency, but not just you spending it on leisurely items. Okay. And so the reserves account, again, you can have anywhere from 3 months or 6 months saved there, where you have saved cash. And then what you can think about doing is if you're noticing that those funds are sitting there, quarter after quarter after quarter, what I would then do is I would transfer those funds into a high yield savings account. There are savings accounts out there that have an APY or annual percentage yield of up to 4.25%. And so you might want to consider, after maybe every quarter, if you notice that there's anything left over in the reserves account, you can take out that amount and transfer it over into a different bank or a different bank account that has that high percentage yield. And then the last bank account is taxes. That's very self-explanatory. And this is the bank account where you have all of your funds going that are relative to quarterly tax filings and payments, as well as annual tax filings and payments. Okay. And so these are the 4 different bank accounts that you can be utilizing in your business if you are looking to organize and structure your finances in a way that makes sense to you. Again, that is operations, payroll, reserves, and taxes. The last thing that I'll say is if you as a business owner understand and have the realization that you may or may not spend the company funds interchangeably with your personal money, one thing that I would highly recommend is that you leave your business card at home or put it in a safe place. But you want to, and by a safe, I mean like a safe lockbox, something like that. But if you, and that's, you have to know yourself, right? If you know that you have a tendency to spend money, kind of leisurely, spend business money on personal items, you, as a good practice, want to leave that card at home so that when you're out, you're not tempted to spend it on things that don't have anything to do with the business, immediately. Okay. We want to treat your business like a real business because it is a business and, you have real things that are going on. You have team members. And what I don't want to see is a lot of times when people get in the habit of using their business funds as their personal funds, it just continues to get out of control. And I don't want that for you. All right. So that is it for today. If you want more financial strategy that is tailored to you to help you grow in your business, you can head over to GalatiansBookkeeping.com/cohort. Again, that is GalatiansBookkeeping.com/cohort. The link will be in the description down below. And I hope to talk to you guys next time and have a great day.